Bienvenue à toutes et à tous. I am delighted to present this first spring edition. The Impact Hub Switzerland Connect is actually an event that happens every 3 months between and amongst the 6 Impact Hubs in Switzerland. Impact Hub is an international network. It's an entrepreneurial space. It's an incubation ecosystem. It's a co-working space as well on more than 120 different hubs around the world. And here we are in Geneva, welcoming all these beautiful people as well as online. So thank you for being here with us. And I am delighted to be here today moderating this event with our two experts. Erika Veneziano, that is joining us currently from Paris, although she's been a member for quite a while here in Geneva and as well as Impact Hub London. And Edward, thank you so much for being here. You've been our expert for the business clinic, and we'll address that more extensively. Here we are as well with members that I recognize with new faces, and I would like officially to welcome each and every one of you for joining us today. We've got a lot of members or at least audience joining us from other hubs in Switzerland. I can see Impact Hub Basel. I can see definitely Impact Hub Zurich, even here in presence. Thank you so much, Johanna, for being here. I can see Daniela joining as well. Thank you so much. So the idea between these different Impact Hub Connects that we started, the idea also actually was born during the pandemic. Maybe you've heard a couple of years ago, there was a world pandemic that affected almost each and every one of us. And we created the first monthly event that was called Bumped In. And then it became Bumped In and Learn, bump into each other between the different members of the 6 Impact Hubs in Switzerland. And then we decided to create Impact Hub Connect or Impact Hub Switzerland Connect in order to give us the opportunity every 3 months to connect with the communities and the ecosystems of the 6 hubs in Switzerland. So the idea today was to address a little bit how those impact hubs can provide support to the entrepreneurial acumen and the different entrepreneurs in uncertain times. I mean, we've seen definitely that in the face, namely here in Geneva, of financial instability, global funding cuts, it's been a bit of a challenging time also alongside ongoing layoffs in this international community of Geneva that are affecting actually both professionals and members that come here. And we do remain committed to offering here in our space the expertise to make sure that we can together embark on this entrepreneurial journey, thanks to our experts, to understand a little bit what are the needs today of our community. So without further ado, I'm going to quickly give the floor to Erika Veneziano, that has been our expert for the business clinic, to introduce yourself. I know that you've been such a committed entrepreneur and sustainability consultant along these years. Erika, how are you doing today? Thanks for joining.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Julik, for inviting me today. So yeah, I'm very happy to be here. I'll give you just a quick introduction of who I am for who doesn't know me. So I've been an entrepreneur since 2008. So I had a creative agency that I started in London. I've then worked between London and Geneva with it, just growing at pace. And then I decided 5 years ago to change the direction of my work and work as a sustainability consultant. So I'm now mostly focusing on accompanying businesses on their journey to sustainability. So through operational strategies, through communication, marketing, engagement, sometimes business models. So yeah, I'm trying to mix what I've been doing before with the entrepreneurship and then the knowledge of business. And now I've had the chance with you to also co-create the business clinic at Impact Hub. So I don't know, maybe we'll talk about this a bit later, I imagine.
We
Julie?
will
Yeah,
definitely.
okay. So yeah, this is me.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Edward, your turn now to take the.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Edward Boon. I come from engineering initially, and then I went into marketing. And now I teach at Webster University, a small campus just outside Geneva. I teach marketing, management, and a bit of entrepreneurship as well. Um, I do a bit of research, mostly in the area of digital marketing and at the moment algorithms and information products. Um, a few months ago, I just there was an announcement on the website of Impact Hub about a clinic or some kind of support thing. I thought I'd show up and see what it was, and met Erica, and that's how I became involved in setting up this business clinic, which we're going to talk about as we discussed. I'm very happy to be here. For the time being, I'm still a bit of an outsider of the Impact Hub community. I'd love to change it a bit and get more involved and become familiar with the organization and everything, but I enjoy the interaction with everybody here. Okay, thank you.
Yours. And the idea today is to hear from our experts, but also to hear from you. What are your challenges? Have you been at the business clinic? I know that we've got a couple of you that have actually attended. So I'm also looking forward to hear from your experience. And most importantly, since we've got a little bit our experts that have seen what has happened at the business clinic, maybe we could start with a brief recap, Erika, of how we came up with this idea on wanting to support members without exactly knowing what the needs were. So first, it was important to listen to the community. We started with a weekly event. We've got weeklies at the hub. And then this became basically the business clinic as we know it today. Erika, tell us a little bit how we proceeded.
Yeah, sure. So we proceeded that you came to me and you said, I'd like to do a business clinic. What can you do, Erica? So indeed, we started to have a weekly gathering where people would come up, and I thought first, let's just hear about what people are doing, who is the community, so get to know a bit of stakeholder engagement, I guess, and understanding what the challenges were, what people were hoping maybe to get from it, but also just listening to stories, I think already give us an idea of what were the key topics that we're lacking. And it's often in business, it is, well, there is the support of like finding support from people, because often on an entrepreneurship journey, we are on our own. We don't have a team necessarily to support us. So that was a big thing. So how can we leverage the community, and how can we leverage the talent and the skills that are available within the community already? And then there is often an idea of like we have great ideas for businesses, but then we don't necessarily know how to market it or sell it or present it or pitch it. So that whole like kind of more business side of the impact idea is sometimes the more difficult, where there is this like kind of semi shame about like selling and marketing. Um, yeah, more on a business point of view, where actually what we're doing is literally increasing the impact of the idea by making it more available to people and to other businesses. So that came along, and then yeah, we randomly met with Edward, and he came up, we talked, and we got on, and we thought that we could, together with his skills around and expertise on entrepreneurship and marketing, and my background on the kind of, I guess, as being an entrepreneur, having gone through this journey, we started to shape it up a bit more. We realized like once a week was a little bit too much. Like some people would come, I would sometimes be on my own, or there would be one person, or in the end, it like needed more structure basically. So yeah, what we've decided to do was to create a monthly business clinic with topics around business model canvas, business to business marketing, digital marketing, pitching. So we went into that, and then with the help of Impact Hub and of marketing, because we need a lot of communications and marketing also to to get people to come. And now we are in a new format, which is every 2 months we put together we have like a program basically of every 2 months we have one session, and the next one coming in is in April, which maybe we can talk about later. But that's basically how it came across, which we wanted to create a space for people to come, to be able to share, to find support, to speak openly, to test ideas, like a place that is like very welcoming. Yeah.
At Impact Hub, we do work on three main axes, which is inspire, enable, and connect. Connect through events like this, hopefully inspiring you as well, and enabling by giving and providing the tools, or at least the connections, in order to make sure that you don't just come for the Wi-Fi and the coffee, but also for the community. Hence, now my question to you, Edward, is as an external expert, given also your expertise, what have been the challenges, the questions, but most importantly, the outcome? What are you taking away from this first year, let's say, of experiences around the business clinic? And
well, first of all, I think the business clinics work pretty well. We have between 5 and 15 participants per session, which is good. I think it's a good number. We get great feedback from participants as well, and we are shaping as we move forward. Initially, it was a workshop that was quite intensive. We tried to cover a lot of material because I felt I want to insert as much in there as possible, but gradually we moved to a format where there's more interaction between participants, which seemed to work a lot better. It became more pleasant, also a bit easier for me to organize, but the interaction was very beneficial, I think, for the participants, and just for them to get to know each other. It's also, I think, great. Overall, I think there's a good demand for this kind of structure, right? Having these clinics, and I think we're still learning what the demands are of the participants. Frankly, since I'm a marketing expert, you probably noticed we've talked about digital marketing, business marketing, business model campus, which is not too hard to do if you're a marketer, and that's my area. I would not be able to talk about legal processes, for example, or So I guess one of our requests is for the audience, if there's anything you need help with, let us know. I have lots of colleagues at Webster University. I might be able to get here for a session on a certain topic. So I think we still need to learn more about what the audience is looking for. But yeah, we're getting there. I think we're getting closer and closer.
since we've got also a lot of experts that are actually members of Impact Hub, that are present in our business help desk, I want to give you the floor and also asking the same question to our experts. But in these uncertain times, facing the situations we are now facing, what are the specific challenges that you as members, as entrepreneurs, are actually now dealing with? And how can Impact Hub resources also support you in that journey? We've got a mic that is ready also for the audience. Is anyone willing to take the floor? I know that some of you have been also at the business clinic. I see Kata, I see Gavardo online. For those who are joining us online, feel free also to drop the comments, the questions in the chat, or just raise your hand so that we can give you the floor online as well. We want this to be as interactive as possible. Anyone willing to say something first? Who wants to take the floor?
Yeah, one of the challenges is finding the time to come to the events. I've participated in one of the marketing business events, which was very helpful. So thank you. And I think, at this particular time, International Geneva being upended, there's a lot of the things that we've taken maybe for granted or seen as a continuity that have been really disrupted. And that raises a whole lot of questions and uncertainties and doubts. And as each of us here, either as individuals and organizations, it can be kind of overwhelming and bewildering. What do I do now? So one of the things I really value about Impact Hub here is the kind of the serendipity, the ability to make connections with people. One of the things that I do also as an executive coach and helping with nonprofits. Right now, a lot of it is just trying to help organizations and people make sense, like trying to get clarity, how to find a path forward. And I have to say that, outside that sort of professional role, that also happens here and through the conversations, discussions we have. So having conversations with people, and I know a lot of people around here, just to have those conversations and dialogues, it's just really helpful to be part of a bigger network.
From what I've seen and observed, like I think what has been really great was the sessions where we've had more interaction. I think there is this value in these events of, yes, there is a teaching and a learning, but there is really a value in sharing among each other. So we had a practice pitching session earlier this year in February. And that was really, really, really great and exciting to see also because people were really going into what they were doing. They're, getting more personal in a way, having a lot of trust with sharing with each other, with receiving feedback, with welcoming feedback. That's all a very useful skill to have also. And so in general, I think I think what we discussed is that we're really excited to have this in a more interactive format. And takeaways is that speaking to people, it seems like it's been helpful. And I haven't heard Kata's full feedback, but I know that she's usually like very happy at the end of it. So I've heard a little bit about Patricia talking, and it's true, it's like people maybe cannot come, but it's good to know that it's there and that that there is this like part of the community that is supporting if you need. And Edward has always been super great at saying that, he's available for contact outside of the clinic. So I think it's this like sense of support that is very positive about it. And going forwards, I know we're trying to, the next session is on AI. So we want to see how we can try to bring that in and just explore. We want to make it also practical. So explore AI and how that can help people in their work whilst keeping the right judgment with that technology. And then perhaps going more into some entrepreneurship workshops. And we'd like to also hear more about what people would like to see. Again, maybe, hear more about what people would like to see, what's missing. But don't know if there's anything else that you have in mind.
Also listening from you, what are the needs? What are the challenges? Also for the new people that have not been at Impact Hub, or at least the faces that I personally don't recognize. Maybe let us know a little bit where you come from, who you are, what brought you here to Impact Hub, but also in the idea of having, for instance, all these hybrid challenges, for instance, as we can see today after COVID. And I'm not blaming COVID again, but of course, we're still in the aftermath of a world pandemic. And the way people behave, the way people relate to each other have changed. Today, more than ever, this hybrid virtual reality is now part of it. AI is also part of it. And it's true that Impact Hub doesn't look like Impact Hub 5 years ago, and probably won't look the same in 5 years. So we do need to be resilient. We do need to be agile and all these buzzwords that sometimes don't really make sense. But the realities and the challenges have changed. So I'm eager to listen a little bit from our audience, both online and here in Geneva. What are you facing as challenges? What are your needs? And how can Impact Hub also can adapt to those needs? Anyone? Yes?
Hello. Hi, my name is Hiromi. I worked, actually, I'm not entrepreneur. I work for the social entrepreneur, young entrepreneurs. And then my focus in Asia Pacific and actually in charge of Japan. But because of family reason, I recently moved here, and I tried to learn the Swiss entrepreneurship ecosystem. And in Japan, with my project, I worked with Impact Hub Tokyo. So with this, I know the Impact Hub Geneva, and I came to join the event. So my questions maybe I'm not entrepreneur, but I try to learn the entrepreneurship ecosystem. So for this reason, if I could join the business clinic or other kind of event to learn. And then another point is because I'm in charge of Japan, I'm very interested in the Swiss ecosystem, EU ecosystem, the European ecosystem as well. In this regard, I thought because you gathered all the information from the entrepreneurs, so you must have the latest information or trend, what people are looking for. So if you could, maybe this is not your focus, but if you could organize some how do you say, summary report and could, hello, yeah, what Swiss entrepreneurs facing challenge, what kind of the area they're more interested, what kind of knowledge they're looking for. And if you could summarize it in a showcase to the public, that would be very interested for me, and I'm sure for the international organization as well. So thank you.
Hello. My name is Juve Gluma, and I'm not a either. But I've been a member of Impact Hub for several years. And why? Is because I want to make that transition towards entrepreneurship. And I think this is what's missing. I think there are a lot of people, I work for an international organization, and for many years I've tried to transition. And it's so difficult. And I think this change in the landscape is an opportunity for a lot of people to push them towards where they want to go. So this is the first time I think in years I've come and sat here. And this is what I feel I need. It's not coming in as an entrepreneur, but how can someone from an international organization transition to doing social entrepreneurship? And this is where I need the help. This is where I'd love to join a community to make that transition that I've been trying to make for many years. And today I think is a wake-up call in terms of what's happening in Geneva to say, can I take that, step now and dare to leave a sector I've been wanting to leave for a long time. I hope there's no one online from my organization, but there we go. Yeah, so, yeah, speaking out. But I think it's a great opportunity now to, in a way, offer that support to those who want to transition.
Before you need to switch off that microphone so that there is no. It is true, and we've seen, namely with again the pandemic, how pivoting from those different spheres. It is definitely the case in other impact hubs, and I do know as well by experience now that Geneva is very special because of this massive and major presence of international organizations and international NGOs. So for sure, this professional transition is at stake, and this is, although we might not have most of these questions, but at least we want to address those uncomfortable, discussions, because it is not easy. And we might not have all the answers either, but at least having a space where we can talk, where we can exchange, where we can brainstorm together makes so much sense. Hence, the idea of putting that discussion out today. Thanks to you for listening. Thanks to you for speaking out, and also for our speakers then and experts. So Edward and Erica, what is your feedback on that?
I'll go first. Okay, so I'll try to answer both questions at the same time. First of all, I'm not a Swiss entrepreneur. I find it difficult to define what Swiss entrepreneurs are looking for, what they want. I know that there's a lot more technology in Switzerland than you might imagine. I do a bit of consulting for the Swiss Institute for Technology Transfer, which is like a body of universities. And yeah, Switzerland is on top of innovation in the world. But I think here in Geneva specifically, and because of the layoffs and everything, we have a lot of professionals. We have a lot of people with business or professional experience that are now looking to transition to potentially entrepreneurship. And I think that's where there are a lot of questions. So the first question is, should you start a business at all? Because it can also be a trap, right? It can also be, you might think that I can do the same thing, but I can do more of it and I can do it my way, but then you end up doing other things, right? You have to do marketing, right? You have to do your human resources. So it can be a trap and it may not give you what you want. So I think that's the first thing, that you need to figure out. Do you want to do it? And then what kind of company are you looking for? What do you want to do with it in your life, right? Is it about lifestyle? Is it about finances? Is it about freedom? Is it about fulfillment? So those are questions. And then, of course, the question is, what do you actually do? And how do you develop a business based on the experience that you have, on the knowledge that you have? So far, our workshops have not addressed that because we've taken the position everybody at Impact Hub has a business that is at the very least defined to some degree. But especially if Impact Hub is looking now at all these professionals that are being laid off, that are at this starting point, maybe we should shift our focus a bit more or add to what we have and focus on people who are still in the exploration phase and who are still trying to figure out if they want to be in entrepreneurship, and if so, how do they develop that? And I think we should definitely talk about that. Yeah, I think that requires a bit of a change, and we need to figure out how to do that. Another problem I think with the Impact Hub model, and again, I'm an outsider, so I'm hope I get this right, is it's sort of linked with co-working. And if you're not interested in co-working because you have a desk at home or you can't travel to Geneva, then there's no way to get access to the community. And so maybe having a community online that is more accessible and more focused on sharing these experiences, that can be a way to also draw these people in, right? Because right now, all these professionals, they don't know how to come to Impact Hub if they don't want to also use the co-working spaces. So that might be a starting point to have an active community. It may have to be a paid community, though. It's not something you offer free. I think you can actually charge people for it. That offers a certain barrier. That means that you don't get people who are not committed, right? But it can actually become a source of income for Impact Hub to become part of that online community that will then provide support and that will then invite you to these workshops here. And that can be a way to open up to all these professionals around without having these barriers in place. Okay.
Thank you so much, Ed. Before giving the word to Erika, I also wanted to remind you that as members, but also it's a public page, and we might just show the link then on the chat. We've got a business help desk that is available. It is on the website. Most of the members are there, some are not. It's an invitation, it's not an obligation, but it is a public page on Impact Hub's website, both in Geneva and Lausanne, where our members can also advertise themselves, give visibility, and it is actually with two main goals. The first is to provide those expertise and this community to the members, knowing that other members that have been through this entrepreneurial journey are available. And then it is also a way to attract additional audience, for instance, for you as members and as coaches on the Business Help Desk page, to make sure that your work is also visible for the people who need it inside the community. Of course, outside as well. It's a public page. But it's important to remind that, and it is accessible. Of course, we then promote it through memberships, through the community Slack channel, and so on. That is for the members. But by becoming a member at Impact Hub, you also have access with reduced prices and so on for that support. So it's important. There is, I think, this quote by Patrick O'Donoghue that says, the difference between longing and belonging is to be. And sometimes we do need just to be who we are. We need to speak out. We need to walk that talk to make sure that we find a community where we can belong and make sure that then we find that support. Erika, what is your view on all this as a member and as an expert?
Yeah, I also think like to also put together what both you and Edward have said and the questions that came into the audience about going on the entrepreneurship journey and really thinking about what, in a way, why someone would do that, and the points that Edward mentioned. Is it about finance? Is it about freedom? Is it about purpose? Is it about being? Is it about that part of yourself that actually feels like it needs to do something, and that can be a place of expression beyond like work also. So it could be in very different shapes. And I think the idea of encouraging maybe or holding an entrepreneurship type event or business clinic could be also a way to test this, because it's that place where someone can be and try. And I think unless you speak about it or you communicate to someone else almost, and you can see where potentially our own barriers might be or our own desires are by sharing. Yeah, so my view from hearing this and from hearing the question is that seems to be a point in time where someone ask themselves, do I want to be an entrepreneur? Am I ready to start something? And maybe not everything has to be done 100%. It can be gradual. There can be tools also to help on the journey of making that leap, seeing other people. So that could be a good way to like transition into it, perhaps.
I would like to hear as well, thank you, Erika, for that, but from my dear colleagues from Zurich, from Basel, what is also your reality, your experience as Impact Hub community catalysts and as my colleagues, but in other parts of Switzerland? So I don't know, Daniela or Johanna, if you want to go first. Should I give the floor to Johanna first, Dani, and then I'll give you the floor?
Yeah, so as Julie just said, we call it community builder, but I also like the term community catalyst in Zurich. I think what I find is the two most important things that we offer people. We also have a business help desk, so people can request a session with us, and then we have a wide range of network where people can just get support from the experts. But the more important part, and I think that's what also has been played around today with this on, is really the sharing with other people and exchanging with other people. Because especially when you are alone, if you would start whatever you want to start jumping into entrepreneurship, you're usually alone, and there's usually another person who has already had the experience and can share their experiences with you. And that just helps you to figure stuff out and also to not feel alone. So I sometimes have people coming up to me with a problem. They're like, I have no idea what to do. And I know 5 people who came up to me with the problem before. And just by connecting them, that already supports them a lot in their journey. So be open with other people and ask for questions, because you never know what the other person, maybe they're in their day job one thing, but then in their private life, they're a nerd in another topic. And especially that topic is what helps you. So just reach out to other people. And if you can't find somebody in the community, I'm not sure how, especially you manage it here. And then we still have the business help desk, but I always try to connect people within each other first before reaching out to the help desk. Daniela, do you have something to add?
Thank Thank you so much for giving me the words. I'm Daniela. I'm working at Impact Hub Basel as a program manager. I was a community builder and ecosystem builder before. I think that a lot of what of my experience really is building up the thread on what Johanna said. One point that I think we also always try to encourage is that our community exercise their muscles of showing up on the space and asking for support. That's something that we should not take as an obvious path. I think that it's really like something that we need to exercise and cultivate. And for that, we really try to create safe spaces, an inclusive space where every voice is heard and where everyone feels comfortable also to express that and show up for what they need. In terms of project, we have a different community projects as well at Impact Hub and programs to support entrepreneurs. And I think one thing that it's really, really key for us as, let's say, like a small player in this big ecosystem is to build up relationship with cross-sector partners. So again, like give it opportunity for our community to access new networks and to be in touch with relevant players in this ecosystem. So that's always like an angle that we always try to bring to whatever activity, either in community building or in programs that we really work cross-sector. And I think that said, I'll give it back to you, Lick. And thank you for hosting that beautiful session.
I might just jump in before you can ask a question. I'm sitting quite conveniently and look at the weekly events board. That is also a very big thing. So looks like you have something weekly here. We have something weekly as well. That's the easiest way to build up a network. It's just to go to a networking event, and especially if it's leisurely stuff like having a lunch together. That's the easiest way to build connections because there's no expectations behind us. Whereas if you go to a public networking event, then there's always people that want to say you something or that want to have a gain out of the event. Whereas if it's a low key, just have lunch together, it's so easy to build up relationships and then use them also in your way going forward.
May I have a word as well?
Yeah, for sure. Wait, just 1 second, Svetlana. I just wanted to remember to remind you that precisely on what we said about ritualizing also the community. So
Yep.
at least in Geneva, we've got on Mondays here the famous 4 heures made with love by Kata, amongst others, because Kata also has a life outside, and whenever Kata is not here, the bar is high to make good cake cookies. But the 4 heures is always on Mondays at 4. It's for the members and friends. And it's also a moment where we gather the community around cakes or other recipes. Whereas like on Wednesdays, we've got the sexy salad, which is usually around 12:30, prepared by Barbara and Mustafa, also another Habonaut and a member. That is, again, a good moment to share lunch and ritualize food. And on Friday mornings, we've got Gavardo, who is not online anymore, but we've got the Café Croissant at 10, which is, again, yet another invitation, no obligation, but just informally to get your head outside of your screen, meet human beings and say, like, I've seen you around for the past 8 months. I don't remember your name. Who are you? What are you working on? And it's a good way to facilitate those discussions without any other expectation than just, again, joining the community. Svetlana, you have a question?
Yes, it's very nice subject to speak about the digestive rituals that makes people connected in any cases. People who don't know me, I would like to represent myself. I am Svetlana Novikova. I am a painter. I am author of 3 art collection of modern art. But by originally, I am from a problematic part of the Europe. It's Ukraine. And I try to make people elevate anyway with a mood to be working in the process of growing, into process of representing themselves and improving who we are. I was last year as a member at the Association Visual Artists La Suisse, and I organized 6 expositions. which is 3 of them was in Ukraine and as well 3 of them here in Swiss Canton Vaud. I'm still in progress to elevate myself to make sales like before quarantine period, because the dramatic political news are really damaging our psychic, and we have to wake up anyway every morning and to do our job. And my pleasure to be with Impact Hub Lausanne.
You haven't mentioned, Svetlana, that you are a very faithful and committed Habonauts, and you've been one of our Habonauts in Lausanne for the past at least 2 years and a half, I would say, almost
Since
on top of being a member and
2022.
everything.
2022.
Yes, exactly. So when can we find you at the hub in Lausanne, apart when you're working as a Habonaut?
Yeah, I enjoy my Monday afternoon shift.
Fantastic. For our members that don't know, Geneva and Lausanne are the same hub. So you can, whenever you're traveling, and it is a good segue to mention that when you join any Impact Hub, you become a member of Impact Hub Switzerland and of those 120 plus hubs around the world that you will see also in the kitchen. Thank you.
What is the differences between the Impact Hub in Lausanne? We have a huge space, huge hall, and it's very good for a mentally some better growing something interesting like imagination. Welcome.
Just give the floor to Patricia as well. Yes, that works.
It's not work. Yeah, yes, thank you. No, I just wanted to say something on what was said before, that it's true that many people, when they're in transition, they always focus on the how, but the energy is focused on the wrong way. They should rather focus on the what. What I mean is that, like, you don't know how things will evolve. You don't know if you will become an entrepreneur, an intrapreneur, or find a new job in something that is really fulfilling. So before focusing and putting all your energy on the how, just find clarity in yourself, and of course get support. And what is your true talent? What is really giving you sense to you? What is really your motivation, your values, and all of that? There are many things to clarify. But something I also wanted to say, to connect the dots, get inspired. So every time you go to events, every time you go and meet other entrepreneurs that are already where you want to be, in a way, you will always get inspired by people who have done the steps and that truly embody what they love and what gives sense to them, and you really feel they're happy, they're inspiration for others. So don't focus on the how. The mind is always bringing you in the how I should do this, how I should do that. No, that's not the important thing. It's the what do I really want? Who am I? What can I offer? What's like, where am I useful, and why am I doing this? What is giving me sense behind? And that's really the engine of what we are doing something. And then what relates me, where do I want to have an impact? Is it on health? Is it on sustainability? Is it on social? So all of these things have to be locked in, and then you start to network, and then you start to talk, and then opportunities will come and ideas will come. And there is a saying that is so interesting, is that something you haven't thought and you don't believe in, you won't manifest. So the law of manifestation is because you thought about it, so you had the idea, then you trust you can make it, so it's like you embody it, and then manifestation is happening. So it's a whole combination of that. But yeah, just to say that transition is not happening like this. Sometimes we want to go, but it's just like having the idea, stay clear, get clear and stay clear, and get support by people who are always lifting you up, and stay really there, and instead of focusing, I won't succeed, or in a negative saying, and keep being in action, and surrounded with people who are inspiring.
Anyone else online? I see Gavardo now is back. I see also Sammy, Stephanie. I don't know if anyone. Anyone else? So maybe coming back to our experts, so what's next? What are the steps forward in the what and the how and the why and what for? Maybe Edward, you can say what is your also takeaway from today?
Okay, so let me start because this is important. The next clinic is on April 24th. Erica, maybe you can confirm that I got that right. It's going to be on AI in your work. So it's very practical. I'm not an AI, I'm not a technical person. I don't know much about what's behind it, but I do know how I use it, and I can explain to you how you can use it and become more efficient and more productive. We also have a couple of other sessions planned. We don't have a date yet, but there's one coming on content marketing. And how not to waste your effort there at the very least. I think based on the discussion we've had today, the idea of moving a bit earlier in the process to the people who are exploring, who are transitioning to becoming an entrepreneur, I think that makes a lot of sense. And I think Eric and I need to discuss, maybe we can prioritize that, do it before the summer holiday, have a session on, whether to start a business and then how to make the right choices and how to come up with an idea. Maybe that's a good scope for a single 2-hour session. So we'll keep you updated on that. Yeah, apart from that, I really enjoy being part of this community. I think I personally would like to become more involved in that. I'm quite impressed with the people here. So I don't have much more to say at the point.
Erika.
Yes. So yeah, I know we spoke about this before with Edward about like potentially shifting a little bit away from marketing, maybe going into something more around entrepreneurship. And I have to say, hearing Patricia today, I would really like to do something with you, but I don't know how feasible that is. But I think there is like a lot of like really good things that we could do in collaboration, also around different explorations. So I know we have some marketing things planned, but we are going at pace, one step at a time, and we're really trying to hear what's coming back and what the needs are. And we're very adaptable. We're only a small team, so yeah, I think this was very useful feedback from everyone. So yeah, definitely the 24th of April, I confirm we're going to do something on AI. So please join us. It's a couple of hours. It's in the Petit Salon. We are thinking of maybe doing it hybrid. So if anyone is interested in joining that session from somewhere else, please let us know and we can try to make that happen. And then otherwise, the next one will likely be in June, and we'll keep you posted on topic. But we'd like to invite feedback basically on this, and we're very open to hear what people would like to see.
Thanks for that, and for reminding us also for the hybrid solution, in the sense that Geneva and Lausanne are the same hub on 2 different locations. And of course, we don't have this capacity to be at the same time on those 2 locations. Hence the idea also to foster and to enhance this cooperation within the community between Geneva and Lausanne, but also to make sure that whoever is not physically present could also benefit and bring that expertise. So this is also before going for the final round, because I would assume that some of us are hungry. And we've got lunch waiting also in the cafeteria for those who are with us. But the call to action is also to say that there are plenty of resources available on the website already. So don't forget to maybe have a look. And then, of course, if you are around Geneva or Lausanne, come to the hub, we've got always Hubonauts at the welcome desk. We are here between, again, different meetings sometimes, but between the different colleagues, never be afraid of, approaching us or sending an email with a question or with a suggestion. The idea is also to promote that idea of the business help desk, to make sure that all these expertise are available, but maybe sometimes people miscommunicate about it, or they're actually not really aware that this is an opportunity. So we do want, again, to reinforce that invitation for the weekly rituals around food. Come on Mondays at the 4 heures, come on the Wednesday for the sexy salad, or on Fridays. And this is the good segue, because I did want also to give the floor to Gavardo, who wanted to make a bit of an announcement also how we're going to enhance and reinforce the Friday Café Croissant, not only for your stomach, but also for your heart and for your brain. So, Gavardo, would you like to just give a few, I don't know, indications about what is happening, at least to start with, once a month with a Café Croissant on Fridays, and how Human Link, and first of all, what is Human Link is going to support this?
Yeah, thank you, Julik. I hope you can hear me all right. Yeah, is the volume okay on my mic? Yeah. Okay, so on Fridays, Human Blink, well, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm volunteering at the hub in Geneva as a hubonaut, and on Fridays is the day I normally take care of the reception desk, and I take care of the Café Croissant. Donc, my idea was to do a team per Café Croissant. So every Friday, first Friday of the month, we'll provide a thematic conversation around cafe and croissants. So everyone is invited to come and to share that conversation. The idea is to group people that are sharing the same problematic, or they are in the same business or project. So we're going to start with SDGs related to water and soil, life on soil. So that's plants, trees, and yeah. So you're very welcome to come on Fridays, first Friday of the month at 10 a.m. for a nice chat on specific topics that we're going to set up. So the idea is that we, as Human Blink, as a startup, we start having conversation with actors in the local community and the members of the hub related to those topics.
Which is also, again, a call to action to remind you that we do as much as we can. We are sometimes a little bit overworked and understaffed. We are immensely grateful for the incredible support, the passion, and sometimes the vision as well of all our hubonauts that have been here supporting us in sometimes very difficult times. And this is also an invitation for you. If you have any idea, if you have any project, even if you hesitate, use the hub as a sandbox. Come and play with us. Share your wildest dreams and ideas. This wants to be a safe space, but not only. I want to make the hub a brave space where we can have these discussions, where we can not only make sure that everyone that steps in feels welcome, but also where we can have, this wildest project. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And it's okay. Every work is work, no matter what, no matter how. It's always different attempts. And the idea is not, again, to be under that pressure that I have to be some sort of successful entrepreneur. No, this is where the difference between just longing for, whatever, and then belonging to a community is just being who you are. Bring all your expertise, all your wildest talents to the hub, from a karaoke night, which can be very fun, to any other, concrete project where you're hesitating or you would need advice. Come discuss with the different members so that we can make it happen, but together. It is also, as an entrepreneur myself, but also as a senior community catalyst here between Geneva and Lausanne, it's also a bit of a lonely journey. It's always difficult to be that proactive all the time and to be that reactive as well. So my call is also to encourage you to come with those ideas, to create that community together, so that we're not all on our sides complaining how lonely we are, how difficult it is, and how challenging all those things are, but that together we can create and nurture that community. So before we wrap things up, at least virtually and here, so that we can continue these informal conversations around food, I would like to give again the floor to our panelists online. I don't know if amongst the guests there are any questions, and otherwise I will give Erika the last word. Just what is your call to action?
Julie, I just want to ask a
Yes,
question.
Eduardo, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. Just to the member, I mean, to the members that they have the community in general. I would like to know if they are all in Slack, if they can see the messages that are sent through Slack or not, or maybe they are but they don't check it.
So we will do again the onboarding after this meeting at 2, and we will again remind our members that if they are not on Slack yet, this is a good way to join our community and get all this information, just to make sure that we don't have this, email cluttering. At least Slack, you get to choose a little bit what information you want to see or what you want to receive. But thanks, that's a very good reminder, Gavardo.
Thank you.
Erika, the sunset behind you is becoming like almost very, very interesting. It really feels like, you are somewhere at the opposite side of the continent.
Yeah, like San Francisco or something.
Completely, it's like
it's like something similar. Yeah, so my next steps. So first one is very practical, because I think we need very practical steps. So it will a call to action, you said. So I don't know yet how, but understand if anyone wants to come to an hybrid business clinic on the 24th of April. I think just share this.
Raise your hands.
Raise your hands.
Yes, well, I can see a few, definitely.
Oh, okay. I can't, but I'll leave that with you. And then the second one is, I think we want to talk with Edward about seeing how we can bring more entrepreneurship sessions into the business clinic, and see how we can gather that feedback also from today, what's been said.
Grazie mille.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, I don't have much more to add in that. Yeah, come to our business clinic. Connect on LinkedIn. That's probably the easiest way to do it. You can also send me an email at Webster. I'm always happy to have a chat. If you want to talk about your marketing, I'm always happy to come over, have a drink. I don't drink coffee, but I normally find something to drink. Yeah, just have a chat and help you out a bit. I need to talk to you about maybe being a bit more present here around summer. So maybe we can meet up here and stay connected. Yep.
Any questions, comments from the audience here? Any urgent, burning questions? Yes, sure, Peter, absolutely.
Has spoken, but not everyone. I'm thinking, couldn't this be a perfect launch for collecting ideas? I mean, you say you two will meet and you discuss, but I think there's been probably quite a lot of other thoughts and ideas that could be harvested. And maybe rather than emails or something, could there be some thought about the invitees of today to give them a platform or a place where they can just post these thoughts? Now we know what you're looking for and what we think, but I think that could be really useful because there's such interesting people in the room, and it's a shame not to have a chance to capture all of that. There's not another formal, more maybe a way we can talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about it as well. If we could have a feedback box,
Yeah,
whether
we
it's
can just have like a form where people, then we send the link and then add it. Anyways, whatever is left of the recording of the entire session will be anyways on our YouTube channel, and then also on the comments, and then we can add also on the different social media that where we're going to post the information. If you have attended, then you can also join that conversation by answering the form, for instance. But that's a very, very positive and constructive feedback. Anyone else? You're all starving.
Thank you so much. My pleasure was speaking the first time in the public.
Fantastic, Svetlana. Thank you for representing the voice of Impact Hub Lausanne as well, and all the Hubonauts in Lausanne and the members.
I would like to represent it more peace, not only to Olympic, like Lausanne is Olympic city, but I prefer to have, we think about it and create and generate more peace in every daily life in every year long. That's why I'm still sustainable to communicate and elevate with people. I hope in the future I can represent some of the things in Geneva.
I hope to see you in Geneva soon as well.
Thank you.
Thank you to our participants, our speakers, our experts. Thanks for everyone. And then I officially would like to draw this Impact Hub Switzerland Connect. The next one is, do we know yet? Yes, should I? Well, I think it's I think it's either Bern or Zurich, but I think it's Bern. Okay, so this will be in June. So it's always at the beginning of the spring, then in June, somewhere around September after the summer holidays, and then the last one is just before the Christmas holidays. So stay connected. And again, do not hesitate to visit the other Impact Hubs in Switzerland, but of course also around the world. Thank you very much, Erika. Thank you, Edward, again for joining and for supporting, for all these beautiful insights. Thank you for the community, for making that community alive. And bon appétit and gute miteinander.
Thank you.
10th of June in Ticino, giusto. So you can also
Giusto.
travel and take one day to visit Impact Hub Ticino, who unfortunately are not with us today, but here in spirit. Thank you very much to the amazing team, despite all the technical challenges that we had today, but it's okay. And see you all very soon. Thanks, Daniela. Big hug to Impact Hub Basel and to all the other ones. Thank you very much and bon appétit.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.